Hey there, boys and girls of the YouTube world. Today, the Duff Dog and I are going to see if we can't get this 1971 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser on the road for the first time, and we have no idea how long. So the story on this car is a buddy of mine, the Mopar Madman, his buddy, who's a Mopar guy, his other buddy who's a Mopar guy. The first Mopar guy picked it up in New Mexico with a bunch of Mopars. It was kind of a package deal. Brought it up here, traded it to another Mopar guy who didn't want it. Neither of these guys wanted it. Went back to the first Mopar guy who didn't want it. And here I am. So it's bounced around like 3-4 times. Nobody really knows the history on it. The only thing that I know is it came from down south. New Mexico is where he hauled it back. Mike, we'll call him. And then it's been up here for a handful of years. And now we're involved. It doesn't run, and that's it. So let's take a look at this thing. There's no license plates on it, so we don't know when it was run last. It's missing a park light. That cool 71 bumper's got a little hooey to it, so we might have to straighten that out. It's red. It's got white letters. Look at these old Goodyear Eagle STs, and they got the actual eagle head on there. ETs are not my favorite wheel, but I can actually kind of get behind these. Look at, oh, they even got like the chrome simulated polished wheel weights on there. 235, 60. Oh, they're 14s. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, it's even got the chrome sleeve on the valve stem and the valve stem cap, but oh, they're unilug. Wah, wah, wah to that as well. And it's missing a couple lug nuts, so I don't think these wheels were ever run on the car on the street. But you can see a caliper back there, so she's a factory disc brake unit. The 72 Cutlass we had, which was the same general drivetrain as this car, was a drum brake car. It's a Vista Cruiser. We're gonna have to look up what that means.
That's a Vista Cruiser. You could literally cruise the vistas.
But Vista, I mean, it's scenic, maybe. I think I'm just shooting from the hip. It's a scenic cruiser. Had the simulated wood grain. I think this was like the top of the line in the day. It had all the trim and whatnot. Windshield is smoked. Bad things happened. And I think this car sat in a very, was it arid? Dry climate, we'll call it. Because you could see how they had to silicone all the seals up, which I don't like to see. But all the seals dry rotted out, so they sealed it up. Oh, this glass is cracked. That sucks. I literally did not look at this car. Got 2 pictures of it and said, okay, we'll take it. So we went and loaded it up. But yeah, all the seals got the old tub and tile. Maybe this guy was a plumber. Who knows? There's a little bit of rot starting right there. It's pretty good. It's not super sunbanked, so maybe it wasn't down south the entire time. There's a little hooey in this door, a little rust in the dog leg, a little rust in the dog leg of the front fender up there. It's got the Eagle STs all the way around. Are they big and littles? Well, these are a 245 instead of a 235. When you got 3 lug nuts, at least take the one and put it over there or there. Don't put them all 3 in a row. ET people are weird. Yeah, I think the red paint would shine up a little bit. Single exhaust, maybe? I don't know, there's an American flag and something about driving safely. It's got the deflector back here. I don't know if that's factory or an option. Usually it was like an option or an add-on accessory. Taillight's a little bunged up. Back bumper's a little bunged up. Sure it had a hitch on it. This must be where the filler's at. That's a pretty cool bumper. I don't know. Who knows what's going on there? Not gonna try any longer. This taillight's a little bit better. Oh, it's got twice pipes, so that's good. I did notice when I was tying it down on the trailer, there's no drive shaft underneath it. Actually, I noticed that when I was lifting it off the old telehandler. And when I was going around the front end with the chain, I noticed that there's no radiator in it, no fan. So that's not promising. So either the engine was bad, and they're just pulling it out, or they were putting it in and they didn't finish it. I haven't had the hood open on it. Or somebody stole the radiator and the fan. Anything's possible, I guess. The drive shaft and the 4, I assume, factory hubcaps are in the car. I don't know if it was a 3rd row seating unit or not. But yeah, this was the cool thing that I always noticed about the Vista Cruisers. The Buick Sport Wagons are the same way. They had this glass on the roof. And plus, I was a huge fan of That 70s Show, and Eric Foreman got to rock the Vista Cruiser all the time. So, perfect reason to have it.
Dad, you sold my car? How could you? Just what in the hell were were you thinking?
You're always saying how you need money.
For gas! For the car!
This dog leg and quarter is pretty good. It looks like there's a little hooey back there. A little rust in the spare tire carrier, but not bad. Again, 3 lug nuts, but at least they spaced them properly here. Rocker's good on this side. Yeah, windshield is real bad. This wheel has a whole ton of camber, so I don't know what's going on there. We're gonna have to take a look. I have Duff open the hood, but he's outside catting around. We're having unseasonably warm weather this second week of November, so Duff's been just hanging out outside. We've been trying to do some things outside, but it's not that warm out because you can hear the furnace running back there, so you're gonna have to just deal with it. And I'm gonna have to open the hood myself because Duff ain't here. It's tough around here. I'm guessing that piece of wire. Oh, yeah, that's definitely probably gonna need pliers. Is it bad on the whole car moves? I'm gonna check the inside. There's a neat little lock, unlock lever under there, but that's not hooked to anything, so we're gonna keep digging. Hey Mojo, you wanna try opening this hood? Try pulling the hood open. Nothing? What was that? There you go. Thank you, sir. I don't know what Mojo did, but he got the hood open. It's a 2-person team. Takes 2 skilled. It takes 1 skilled and 1 partially skilled mechanic to get the hood open to do what Duff does. Anyway, old Mike told me that this thing's got a 1968 442 455 in it. So let's take a look at that. I'm already kind of second guessing it because it's got a 2-barrel, and I feel like a 455 should have a 4-barrel, but maybe somebody swapped intakes. So it's red or orange. It looks like it was painted up, but it looks like somebody was either in the process of taking it out or putting it in. I don't know. It's missing the power steering pump. It had power steering. It had power brakes. Missing the master. It's missing the distributor cap, the rotor, the plug wires. There's that Rochester 2 jet. She was even a factory AC car, which makes sense if it was down in Arizona. Like I said, I could see that the pulleys and the fan were missing. Looks like the fuel pump's missing. Looks like we're missing more than we got. Who knows if it's got a starter. Let's lift it up in the air. Maybe that'll tell us more about the situation. It doesn't have headers and it doesn't have flexi hoses. So, I mean, we got that going for us anyway. Bunch of vacuum hoses missing. Where is the engine identification number? I don't even see an area cleaned off where Mike would have cleaned an area to determine that it was a 455 out of a 442. All right, took some digging, had to call up Swappy, our Oldsmobile expert. He's not local, I was gonna say local, but anyway, I think we got it figured out. It's a 68 Oldsmobile 455, which we were told, but the Oldsmobile 442s in 68 only came with 400s, so, and you couldn't get a 455 in a Cutlass in 68. So let's show you what we found. So the first thing is there's a 396021 number stamped in there, and that means it's a 455, but it could be anywhere from 68 to 76. It's got an F at the end, so that means it's 68 to 72. They stamp their numbers right here for identifying what the engine is, and it doesn't have a suffix or prefix code, so we can't tell how many horsepower it is. But over here on the block, down here on this pad down here, it's got 3, 8, M, and then the serial number. So 3 means it's Oldsmobile, 8 means it's a 68, and M means it was manufactured at the Lansing, Michigan plant. And we noticed there's 2 spark plugs in it. Otherwise, all the rest are missing. And that spark plug back on that, oh, there is one back there, and even 1 wire. So 3 spark plugs, 4 spark plugs. There's one here, mismatched wires. There's a Whitaker wire Yeah, that back one's gonna be a real bughead to swap out.
Wagon.
Let's put a bar on this thing, see it'll turn over. So I was duped. It is not a 442 engine. I should have done my research and opened the hood actually and looked at it and looked to see if they made a 455 in 1968 and put in a 442. But it is what it is. It's a pretty good block. They're small valve, low compression heads, but it's a good block if you're gonna build it. So at least we're getting some good pieces. That is an absolute monster of a bolt. How do I guess that right? 1.125". It goes into the old crankshaft. Here goes nothing. Come on, flexi head. Hey! That is a good sign. Let me get a full revolution. It turns over nice. Obviously it's not going to build much compression with only half the spark plugs in it. I heard a valve go click over there. Oh, well, that's a good sign. We know the engine turns over, we know we're missing a bunch of parts. Let's lift this thing up in the air and see what everything else looks like before we get too crazy with trying to put battery cables on it, hook a starter up. And I'm guessing cap and rotor are gonna be the same as GM small block stuff. Probably could use some regular points, plug wires, plugs too, so we're probably get it running, but we're not gonna find, I don't have accessories for an Oldsmobile because we sold Swappy, the only Oldsmobile we had, which he said still runs and drives, although we did put a different engine in it. So, worst case scenario, we just gotta go buy it back, right? No? You don't wanna go do big smoky burnouts and cutlasses anymore? Okay, you could be persuaded. Big stretch. Yeah. All right, let's get this thing up in the air. Glad to see you showed up for work today. Oh man, you got all greasy. What are you doing? Lubricating the bottom sides of cars? Okay, I noticed something when I was putting the lift underneath this thing. It definitely does have a gas door. And it definitely does not have a gas cap. So we'll have to figure out what that access door, is it a step that flips down to climb in the back? Does the door swing sideways? Guess we're gonna have to find out. I thought I saw a dealer plate on this thing. Maybe I was smoking drugs. I thought it came out of Colorado somewhere. I saw something. Probably making that up. All right, let's get a look at the bottom side of this thing. It's got a sway bar, which I think pretty much everything did at this vintage. Even though maybe that's why I was sitting cattywampus, because this bracket has been peeled open. Bumper bracket is loose, maybe that's why that's crooked as well. Got all kinds of bracing in these things though. We'll fix the park light. There we go. All better. It's got the aforementioned disc brakes. I think it was an option. Oil pan's got a hooey in it. It does have a starter. One of the bolts is loose. Not a good idea. These things got plastic inner fenders. I noticed that because I was trying to stick the camera to it, or the Cyclops, and it's not magnetic. Oil pan's got a hooey in it. It's got a plastic inspection cover for the transmission. It looks like a turbo 400. I don't know if that's all you could get in these. The exhaust is hooked up. That's something I was wondering about. It's got a battery cable on it. Just kidding, it's got part of a battery cable on it. That looks like a real fun one to try to hook up too. She's been warm a couple times. It's got one of those screw-in freeze plugs, or those expansion style ones. Oh, it's got a bunch of them. She's a little greasier down here. Yeah, they must have put all those expansion plugs in. So I don't know if they were in the process of taking this thing out. I don't know much about engine mounts on these things, so I don't know. It looks like the bolts are still in it. So they didn't get that far. Our vacuum modulator is not hooked up. What kind of filter is that? A Warner. Never heard of a Warner. Must be a southern thing. The trans is super greasy. It looks like they put a rag in there to keep it from leaking all over. So that was good. That must have been, they meant to take care of it. Ah, she's got some rust in the floors. Dang it. Frame looks really good though. Looks like somebody ran some new taillight wires and used some mechanics wire to tie it up in place. Maybe that's for a trailer plug. Who knows? Coil spring rear. Like I said, dual exhaust with mufflers. It's even got the tailpipes on it. Where does that? Oh, it gets snipped off. Yeah, I bet there was a trailer hitch on her at one point. There's our fuel tank. There's our fuel line that's no longer hooked up. It is a 10-bolt rear, but look at this. Use limited slip differential oil only, so. Oh yeah. See, I'm turning that wheel, it's going forward, and that one's going forward. She's a two-wheel peeler. I bet this thing would be fun with a 455. Anyway, it's got the old Delco pressurizers on it. The exhaust really isn't that bad. The floor got her on both sides though, so she needs some floor work. Other than that, pretty good though. It's a little rust in the dog leg. Rockers are galvanized. They're in great shape. Floors in the back are good. Oh yeah, not a bad car. Ain't all banged up. Just that little bit right there in the fender. Pretty good old car. Well, I guess now we gotta see if we can get a cable on the starter and tighten up that starter bolt. See if it turns over on its own. Sounds like a plan. I guess we do have a drive shaft, so we can, if we do get it running, we can move it around, but we're still gonna need a radiator and hoses. The stuff I get myself into. It's almost like we don't have an entire shop of other things that we could be working on. Instead, we choose to make ourselves miserable. But we do it for you kids, so be thankful. Could be worse. Could be you doing this at home. All right, we got battery cables. 2 of them. And a loser switch. Quantity of 1. So we just need a battery. But Duff says we got a package we need to open. It's a pretty fancy package. And it's big. Oh, it looks like Timo is our battery sponsor this week. And
Mind me.
Chin Vanna White is gonna install it in the Vista Cruiser. Anyway, Corso Built told me that a package was coming my way. And I've been waiting to open this thing because, yeah, it's gonna be good. Got an idea what's in here. But I figured we'd open it on camera, seeing how you probably paid more to ship this thing than I've paid for most of the cars on the channel. So go check him out on Instagram. I think they're on the YouTubes as well. I met him on the Instagram. I met him at the Lone Star Roundup. Yeah, he does a bunch of pinstriping, tattooing. He slices and dices pool noodles. The back of the Warden. This thing is packaged well. There's like a full roll of duct tape in here. Maybe it's time for a new blade to be on a full Milwaukee here. Crank for a rusty door skin. It's awful well protected. You always want to use protection with your rusty door skin. So he had told me he wanted to letter something up, or I don't know how it all started. I said it'd be really cool to like do a door. And I didn't say that I wanted it. I just said to do it well. And then he said he was going to send me a door, so I'm going to see it. But I know he sent one to Puddin', so I'm guessing I got the same. Oh yeah. All right. Let's get all this off first. Here you go. It's like Christmas. Tag team. Yeah, but it's still sharper than yours.
Look at that, right there, like butter. This is probably the actual duct tape.
Quack, quack, quack. Yeah. I'll have to do a Mortske minute on. the duct tape. I actually watched the history guy did a video on the history of duct tape. And they don't know if it came from ductwork or from ducts.
The outside is.
Don't ruin it. I'm not. Oh, I see he's got some, some white tape on, or some paper on there.
I'll hold it. You feel
Tag team. I've still got the hinges on it. Oh man. Oh man. Oh. It's got like the Colligan man down at the bottom. That's cool. Yeah, look at that. We got Mortske repair. I'm guessing that's me, the portly individual with no facial hair. And 80 was my old college football number, and that's the number I had in my derby car, so I told him to put that on there. That's cool. He's got some time in the pinstripe in that. And it's even got some original black paint on it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat.
That's pretty neat.
So go check out Corso Built on Instagram and YouTube. He's probably on Facebook as well. And then we're gonna have to find a spot to hang this up and get it out of the way before we do any more damage to it. So thank you, sir, for sending this out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to say hi to us at Lone Star Roundup. Now back to your regularly scheduled shenanigans. Oh wait, there's a letter here.
I didn't know if you wanted to float it.
Better get that camera going, it says. Oh, beep, here it is. Can't say that, Corso. Forgot there was a letter. Hey Mortske, finally, here's your new wall hanger, my friend. After several revisions and taking into account what we discussed, race car, old, patina, number 80, sprint car, so here it is. I'm proud of it, and you should be. I think I like it better than the other one. Yeah, it's way cooler than Puddin's for sure. 80's better than 77 by 3. Anyway, man, this is just a token of my appreciation for your friendship as well as your channel. You've been an inspiration, entertaining, and educational. Oh man, I'm gonna get choked up. As per our, now we're not like Puddin, we're real men around here. As per our conversation at the Roundup, you've encouraged me to start my own little YouTube thing. Corso Built. Skin, metal, and wood. Yeah, like I said, he does pinstriping and tattooing. I don't know what he's doing with wood. You have to ask his old lady about that. Dizzy Brat something, she's on the Instagram too. She's a real nice gal. Met her at Lone Star Roundup as well. So far it's been a blast, and who knows, perhaps one day I can monetize it as well. So yeah, if you guys go watch it and subscribe, Corso Built, he'll be doing dumb stuff like Chin and I and Duff and Mojo and everybody else around here. I'm a man of my word, so if you really do want some striping done, I'll make it happen, absolutely. Until then, keep up the good works, and may you have continued success in all your endeavors. Doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you're having fun. Best regards, Robert Corso, 10/14/23. So, what's the date today? 11. It hasn't even been a month. We've had this thing sitting here, and I said, we got to do it when it's on camera. And
I totally thought it was a TV that you were putting up in here. I didn't know what it was the whole time.
yeah, I bought a used TV from U-Haul.
I've seen silver things come in.
Good point. Now back to regular scheduled shenanigans. All right, old Timo, let's hook up some battery cables. It looks like, oh, the wire harness is here for the car. Hey, there's another spark plug wire. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when he gets there. I wonder what's inside that thing. Here goes nothing. Come on! Oh, all kinds of debris is coming out on that side. Distributor's turning. Cool. Cool. Maybe we'll pull, we're gonna have to find at least 4 spark plugs, so we might as well pull the other ones out and put 8 in. You know, matching spark plugs. And then it'll turn over faster and we can try to get spark. Just in my dealings with GM stuff, I'm thinking a points distributor cap and rotor, and even the points are all the same from Buick, Olds, Pontiac, Cadillac, Chevrolet. So I'm hoping it's all the same stuff as a Chevrolet. So crossing my fingers there that all that stuff is the same. So we should be all right. If not, should be easy enough stuff to acquire at our local parts store that's 15 miles away that has nothing when we need it. All right, let's pull some plugs out. We could even spray some oil in there. These ones would be pretty easy. What do you think about that, Duff? Yeah, good point. Nobody's got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You guys do stuff different down south. The Mighty. I didn't know that Mighty was a spark plug brand. She's a M4R52. They don't look bad, but I thought that was kind of cool. Mighty. These back spark plugs are mighty hard to get at. It mighty not be getting swapped out. Well, that guy's a Mighty as well. Not having steel inner fenders. Real downfall for the old Cyclops. Got all the spark plugs out. Took our air hose, blew out inside a distributor. It looks like the rotor is busted, so I'm guessing that got all broke when they took it out or put it in. I feel like this engine was not in this car and running, but who knows. We're missing the coil. I did find the power wire that goes to the coil. It was either cut off or chewed off, so I stripped the end. We're gonna have to put a jumper wire, put a new end, or splice it or whatever. Go into the coil, but I think we gotta have the coil to get spark. And if we are gonna get spark, then you know what I'm saying? The coil's missing, that's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go find a coil, and then we're gonna hopefully have some spark. Carburetor seized up? Ooh, not anymore. The old 2 jet's good to go. Of course, somebody twisted off the freaking line. All right. I'm gonna go find a coil. We're gonna go from there. I guess we gotta take a break from this seat because Mono's putting carpet in. None of us like doing interior work around here, so we both have to suffer through it together. And you're gonna be no help because it's new carpet, so you're not gonna want to roll in it. Before we even get started, I'm gonna grab myself a carpet knife. And we're gonna put a brand new blade in that thing. What is that? Single edge blade? No, wrong blades. We're gonna have to go to the other blade stash. Nope, those are Sawzall blades. Duff, where's the carpet knife blades at? Are they hiding behind the Mortske lowlife air fresheners? Nope, get yours at mortske.com. Oh hey, look at this. There we go. Brand new Stanley utility blades. Here we go. New blade in the Stanley. Even put a new blade in my pocket knife, so Chin can't make fun of me for that being dull anymore. Thought we were putting carpet in, now you're washing seats?
You don't want a dirty seat in there.
Well, as soon as Duff gets a hold of it, it's gonna be dirty.
Yeah, Duff piece will crawl all over.
Hey, don't get it too clean, we won't want to let Duff in there. I think you missed your call and you could be sewing interior.
Yeah, look at it inside there.
I better check it out. You gotta stay out of there, you goof. You don't gotta get dirty. Boy, is that some bright red. Hey, do you not listen?
I know you're a rookie, but you gotta be kidding.
Get your dirty butt off my new carpet. You don't know how to run a knife because you got no thumbs. Ah, cackle burrs already. This is why we can't have nice things. Because of you. Looks pretty good. You want to put the back seat in first? Sure. Oh, you got door panels in? We had to take these off to sneak the carpet out from underneath them. The previous guys did, so we had to put it back together. Door panels on that side. We cannot find this door panel, so we're gonna keep searching. Hopefully we can find it, otherwise I guess we're gonna have to get a replacement. Not too bad for a beginner?
Yeah.
You probably remember when cars didn't even have carpet.
Right.
Rubber.
Wood.
Wood. So we gotta sneak this over that and under that. Cut a hole in there somehow in the right spot, huh?
But that's the way it looks.
Put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord.
There. It would give us some room. Well, it looks like that should be the crease for the toe board.
Right there.
So I'm where I need to be over here. Forward and backwards, and if we poke the hole
I think I'm pretty close.
right in the middle. The good news is this all gets covered by a center console, right?
Yeah.
Ow! Is that funny?
Not really.
Oh, we gotta poke holes for the gas pedal. We don't have to do the seats though, they're all done.
Switch.
Oh, we gotta trim a little around the kick panel here. There's something there. Oh yeah, there's a seat. Well, they are up. Oh, I thought they were all back here. A couple up there.
Couple up there.
Well, there you go. You got her under control from there.
Now this back seat, you see where the...
Do we gotta put that armrest in first, you think?
I can get it and clean it up and put that in, I guess.
Well, we could put it in quick and we gotta take it out. Like you said, it comes out pretty easy. Was there any hooks up here, or was it just the ones underneath the bottom?
Just hooks here, but we might have to slice with the carpet where the hooks are. They hook down on the pan, floor pan.
But the carpet's covered.
Yeah, the carpet right there. But I wondered if it would hook in there without
Yeah. I don't think it's going
cutting,
anywhere.
huh?
I don't think it's gonna go anywhere.
Okay.
Odds are there won't be much rough activity in the back seat anyway.
You put a notation on it.
A notation. We'll put a sign up. Accidents in the back seat cause children, and children in the back seat cause accidents. Isn't that how that goes?
Yeah, I suppose.
No comment.
I better not say anything.
Well, that Milwaukee light sure works good for that, huh? You can clip it not only on hoods, but you can clip her on headliners. Get yourself one. Not a paid promotion. She's looking good, Mojo.
Oh, thanks.
I think you missed your calling. All right, I'm gonna go back to being miserable with an Oldsmobile pile. You're gonna hang out with me instead of do interior with Mojo. The Duffster did a little research on Rock Auto. Turns out it's the same DR 429 distributor cap on a small block Chevy. So we had one of those laying around and the corresponding rotor. Yeah, real nice one. We're going all out on the budget here. Spark plugs, we're not sure yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. They are different between a 2-barrel and a 4-barrel, which this is a 2-barrel. We looked it all up for like a 68 Delta 88 because we're assuming that's what this thing come out of. Spliced the wire for the coil, and I got a coil wire on there, and we got a jumper wire on here. So let's zing it over and see if we get spark, and we'll go from there. But before we go from there, let's looby-doob the cylinders, just to appease all the Dwaynes out there, even though we probably turned it over 19 times already. You want to have the honors? God, you're awful ambitious today. Just a little shot. We don't want it blasting everywhere. Oh, of course. Maybe we're only going to do one because I lost my straw. Son of a biscuit. All right, we're just going to spray and pray. That's my method. That and everybody Wang Chung tonight.
That and everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Yeah, the old spray and pray ain't gonna work on the back hole. Don't take that one literally. Oh, this is why she's sitting funny up here. No, it's not from this awesome Whitaker script hex spark plug boot. What does that say? Supronic. Oh man, that's cool. Whitaker Supronic. I need a whole set of those. These are even patented. Dang, they don't make stuff cool anymore. It's not the number 9 wire that's holding the transmission cooler lines. It might be this shim hanging out loose here on the upper control arm, or it may be that the entire upper control arm bolt has been sheared off. I've never seen that before. We're probably gonna have a rough test drive with this thing. I think they're like a T-bolt or something. I read it on the internet once. And yeah, we could just put a regular bolt in there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, broken suspension bolts. That's no bueno. Must have did some Dukes of Hazzard things, huh? Here you go. Since broke the news to everybody that I'm an engineer, we'll give you some engineering stuff here. So this is I believe a deformed thread locking nut that's on here. It's just a metal lock nut, some people call it, or it's a regular nut that's kind of squeezed, pinched tight. And you can see this crack is pretty fresh. So you can tell it just recently happened. If it was an old crack, it would be rusty in there if it happened years and years and years ago, but I don't know if somebody was shoving it around with a skid steer or what, but that is an old deformation, and there's a lot more to it, but yeah, looks like it was actually barely hanging on by this little corner over here, and that had been broken for a little while anyway, but the edge of that crack looks like she's brand new. Your worthless failure analysis information a week from your resident retired engineer. And I have bored you to sleep again. All right, got all the holes lubed up. Here, look at this. I was going through my distributor stash. This is your standard small block Chevrolet distributor. We stole the cap and rotor and wires off of this. We're a couple wires short. Plug wires. So I don't really go by, these are 8 millimeters. Most of them are 7 millimeters. There's different style, but the biggest things is straight boot versus angle boot. And like this set has mostly straight boot, but it's got a couple angle boots. Obviously there's a straight boot, there's an angle boot. The best way to go, in my opinion, is to make your own plug wires, and you can make them the length that you want. It's really not that hard. There's videos on that. I think we've shown it before. And then same deal with the cap. There's straight boot, angle boots, and then there's boots for points caps like these. They're smaller. And then HEI caps, high energy ignition, pretty much it's across the board. GM, Mopar, Ford are larger. Maybe Ford uses these smaller ones all the way around. I don't know. But anyway, those are a couple things to look for. And this is a cool old Mallory, I believe. No, this is an Excel. I got a couple Mallories on the shelf. High performance distributor, cool stuff. I dig neat old speed equipment. Speaking of neat old speed equipment, old Mike had some other junk laying around that we could not live without. This is a 235 starter off of the engine that was in the back of that 65 Chevy pickup last week. That wasn't part of this deal. This is an adapter. It's an, what is it, NC-25, which is a 50, I had to look this up. This Transdap brand. 54 to 58 Hemi to 55 to 57 GM transmissions. I think you could get a Buntsy to bolt to it if you move that hole right here. See, this one's staggered over. These two are in line, and these two are staggered. So you can put like a 55 Chevy 3-speed behind a 392 Hemi. So that's pretty good wall hanger there. This one's similar. So this is a Mopar B engine. This is an Offenhauser brand. We could find that by the 0410 part number over here. It's big block Mopar, so 383, 400, 361, 413, maybe even the 426 wedge. Not the Hemi though, and 440s. That's what this is, and that adapts it to a early Ford bolt pattern, so like a 32 to 48 Ford. And then this is another adapter. I'm not sure what brand it is, but this is a 32 to 48 Ford. It'll bolt to the back of a flathead. which is what this is, and then it adapts it to that same 55 to 57 GM transmission. So it's actually 2 adapters stacked on top of each other. So we could put a Muncie or a GM 3-speed behind a big block Mopar. Don't know why you'd want to do that. Or the same thing over here, which, again, they're pretty much wall hangers. This one's kind of cracked out around the starter. The holes are a little bit oblong, which granted you can fill that out. And the one thing to look for if you ever see these adapters or anything aluminum intake, check the threads. These aluminum threads get galled up real easy. And you can put nut certs in there, but you know, if you're paying big money for one, don't pay it if those threads are screwed up, because it's going to cost you some money and some time. And then I got some generic, I don't know, aftermarket air cleaner lids. I'm not sure what they are. I don't really care about those. Another cheesy air cleaner. I think this is a stock GM one that's been cut down. But this guy is a tri-power. So this is a 59 to 61 GM tri-power, so 348 409. And the way you can tell that is the angle that these dual snouts are at. Some of them are closer and some of them are further apart. And the fact that this one's about twice as long as this one. And then some have a flat lid, some have like a dimpled style lid or a sun-kissed style lid. And then you can see the way the bottom is formed and the way these brackets are. But so that's a pretty good piece, even though it's rotted out here. The lips rotted out on that. So it's pretty much a wall hanger, unless you find somebody who absolutely needs one. They're probably reproducing them too. Good stuff, huh, Duff? That woke you up a bit. We're using the old 36 Ford pickup. She's our cardboard hauler. Oh, we saved some other parts off that 235. That wasn't part of the deal. So this is a lot of work looking this up, figuring this out. I believe this is a 57 Pontiac tri-power. Based on the numbers, since there is no casting numbers on it, this was an experimental or a developmental. So this was what they used to develop the actual production ones, but they released, back then they didn't care, they didn't throw them away, they just were like, good enough, shipped it out. So this is a 57 Pontiac tri-power, so like a 316 or 317, something like that. It'll probably fit other Pontiacs as well. Wall hanger, they're really not that desirable. It's missing all the linkage. It's missing the end carburetors, which are the desirable ones. The center carb is just pretty much your straightforward GM carb. And this, oh no, that's a production one. This is a 56 dual quad Pontiac, same size, like I said, that 317 or whatever. This has got the D for developmental on it. And this is the thermostat housing, which is only for these manifolds, so it's a pretty hard piece to find. But and then it's got the small, what are they, the WCFB 4 barrels. Again, it's missing the desirable carburetors and the linkage, so just wall hanger stuff, but pretty cool stuff anyway. I geek out for stuff like that, so someday we're gonna have to get that hung up on the wall, along with our door from Corso built. We gotta fire up the old Genie and start doing some decorating one of these days. Maybe even put a surfboard up there. All right, now that we got this thing looby-doobed up, let's see if we can get some sparkage. Hook up our coil wire. So we should have power to the coil. Let's zing her over with our loser switch. Let's see what we got. Find a good ground. That intake should work. Nothing. We should probably check the dipstick, see if there's any oil in this engine before we get too crazy cranking it over. Seems awful dry. Well, there's oil on there. She's on the stick. Anyway, so we should be fine. We should probably check, see if there's any water in that. Seems like it had no air cleaner on it for who knows how long. Let's give her the old Mortske flick with our screwed by Mortske repair magnetic screwdriver. Get yours at mortske.com. I like doing it with power hooked up, so hey, I know we got power there. Now let's try it. Don't jump to me. Nothing. It's got these unit points where the condenser is built into it, and since this thing hasn't had, usually these points just give them the old Mortske flick and they come back to life, but since this is sat without a cap on it for so long, that cap usually keeps them really dry. It's really grimy in here, and I know we blew it all out, but we might have to put a set of points in this thing, because you can't really, with the unit style points, with the condenser built in, you can't flick them real good, unfortunately. The downfall of unit points. You can't even file them very well either. I know we're getting power and they're opening, but they're just so dirty that it's not creating spark. We need to find something metal. There we go. Something steel, magnetic. There we go. Come back to life. Awesome. Now let's put the cap and rotor on it. We should probably lift this thing up in the air and pull that drain plug, see what's in there. It's not going to be good, I feel like. We might even want to pull a valve cover and prime the oiling system. I don't know. I know these Oldsmobiles, I don't have a ton of experience with the old 455, but we did have a jet boat one time, my cousin and I. And I guess, so in the research and having that thing, we never even had it on the water, but what you found online was these things are notorious for the oil not getting back to the bottom end fast enough. So when you're going high speed across a lake with a boat, you know, you got her floored for minutes at a time, all the oil gets pumped up to the valve train, and the passages aren't big enough or smooth enough or too restrictive to let that oil get back to the oil pan, to the sump. So the oil pump egg gets run dry. So I'm sure there's ways to fix that, but I remember reading about that. So like I said, I know these have oiling problems, and that being run wide open for a long time is probably not what we're gonna have going on here, but it might be good to just pull a valve cover off, see what's going on in there, see if we got oil pressure coming up here, and maybe we want to pull that distributor out and prime the system. I'm guessing it's probably not the same distributor as a small block Chevy, but I'm guessing we could make something to prime it if we really needed to. Looks like there's plenty of room back here to get a drill on to prime it. So maybe that's what we'll do next. Let's put the distributor back together first before we blow any more garbage around and get it in there. Make sure we still got spark. Let's unhook our coil wire. We're getting close. The other thing is the tranny lines are open, so we might want to loop those, because as the engine turns over, if it's bolted to the torque converter, it's going to be running the pump, and that thing's going to be pumping ATF. If there's any in there, it's going to be pumping out, and if it's dry, it's going to be running the pump dry. So you don't want either situation very, very badly. All right, let's put a distributor together. Duff had a stroke of genius here. He said, why don't you find top dead center on this thing before you put the cap on? Good point. You're so wise for your age, Duffalophagus. Yeah, you know. There we go, we got compression on number one. Turn it a little bit more. Right there. Hey, would you look at that? It's pointing at number one. Perfect. Colored plug wires. Plug wires should be gray or black in my opinion, but whatever. Yellow will get the job done today. Hopefully these small blocks are long enough. Oh yeah, we should be good. We're gonna have to steal a couple yellow ones off that Excel though, because we're a couple short. Story of my life. Oh yeah, we got a couple plug wires just laying around here we could use. We'll use those. There's the two we need, and we got the old Whitaker on the other side, so it should be golden. Shift linkage isn't hooked up. We're gonna have to work on that. I'm gonna blow this off before we take this valve cover off. That way we don't get any debris in our valve train. Let's see what we got here. Of course it's glued on because there's 94 bolts holding it. Ooh, definitely not a fresh engine. He said ooh. She is sludgy. I'm sure that sludginess Doesn't help the oil return. Stuff like that in the oil galleys, not something you want to see. But I guess it's better than being rusty and dry. Well, that valve train doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great either. So let's lift it up in the air and let's crack the drain plug to see if we get any water that comes out of the oil pan. We don't want to be pumping water through all our bearings. That would be not so good. Well, the drain plug is at the very bottom here. A good spot to get hit on the railroad tracks when you're jumping them, or bridges, or rocks, or whatever. So if there's any water, we'll definitely know. What size are you? 3/4? 7/8. It ain't been changed in a while. 7/8? Yep. Oh. Alright. Hopefully no water comes out. Hopefully oil does come out. That's definitely oil. Good enough for the girls we go with. All right, I'm sure a lot of people are like, why don't you change the oil and put a new filter on it? It's good for it. It's just like another, I mean, what's oil? I just ordered some 30 weight the other day. It was like $7 a quart. So you got, it's a big box. So probably ordered 6 quarts. 7 times 6, $42 plus the filter. You got $50 into it. And you don't know if this thing's gonna run, if it's got a rod knock, if it's any good. That oil is gonna be just fine for what we're gonna do. And if there's a rod knock, perfect. That's the oil we want in there for a rod knock. That's the good stuff. You're always judging me, Duff. We ain't got time to change oil. We gotta get one of these things running every dang week. Cleaned up the old Mighties. They cleaned up pretty good. I gapped them to 30 thousandths per Rock Auto, and found some vintage RJ12YCs. These guys, one of these come in the old cellophane like cigarettes. Classic. So we're gonna spin those spark plugs in there and hook up some wires, give her some hot sauce, see what happens. But, however, I was just looking at this thing. And look at that coming out the tailpipe. I know it wasn't firing or running, but blowing some mouse house and a little soot out of the old tailpipe there, Duff. Duff has verified it is mouse house. You gonna suck start it? What's in there? Hey, what's in there? Hey, no, not under there. I guess he only does that on Mercury's. Like, are you gonna suck the mice out of that tailpipe? Just breathe it all in. I have no idea what is wrong with that dog, but I'm pretty sure he just suck started this thing. Yeah. You probably dated a girl that could do that in high school. Surprise! How about the other side? Is the other side doing anything? Oh yeah, a little soot. Not so much mouse house over here. Look at how thick the wall is on that pipe. That's like thicker than swing set material. Those are some good pipes they put down there in New Mexico.
You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
Okay, I'm gonna spin some spark plugs in. Duff's getting excited now. Getting close. We just need everything yet. We should have left this one in there. This thing might be a 7-cylinder.
One eternity later.
This is one of them plugs where you're happy it's got the X on the spark plug socket, because you need it. These are almost as bad as having hitters. Almost. Oh, hope I never have to work on that cylinder again. As with most, well, I don't even know if it's GM, but it's got the firing order right here. 18436572. Same as a small block. Cylinders are labeled 2, 4, 6, 8, and one is over here. So, and the rotor was spinning clockwise. So let's put some plug wires on. When I was routing this plug wire around the steering shaft, Not only is our shift linkage not hooked up, oh, the bolt's missing there too for our steering coupler. But the bottom of the column must not be bolted in place. So that's not a good sign. We haven't even really opened the door on this thing yet. I just remembered what the difference between points and HEI. HEIs have a stud, and points have a hole. Innies and outies. Points are an innie. HEI GMs are outie. That's what the difference is. Oh yeah, a couple spare wires. These got a lot of overspray on them. I'm guessing somebody did like an aerosol overhaul on this engine before they started stabbing it in. We may never know, but usually it's not a good sign when the plug wires are painted over. Definitely Craigslist rebuild action going on there. Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley.
Got all our plug wires hooked up. We're ready to give this thing some hot sauce and see if it pops off. I know we're gonna have a bunch of vacuum leaks. Maybe we should address those. Maybe not. But the mail did just show up. Guess what we got on hand? SS1 super scrapers. Got a bunch of them. SS5 shorts. Got a few of them. SS5 standards. Got a few of them as well. So hurry up, get your order in. The SS ones fly off the shelves real quick. Get those at mortske.com. They're not gonna last long. They never do, so get after it. This is your warning. Yeah, they fly off the shelves, don't they, Duff? Also, we had a great week last week, shipping orders out. Ton of shirts. We got a few of these low-lifes left. We got a bunch of Cowboy Cadillac and a bunch of the Do style shirts. We got banners. We got magnetic koozies. We're getting real low on those, so hurry up and snag those up while you can. I know it's not koozie season around here, but magnetic can koozies are pretty awesome. You can stick it on the wall, stick it to your toolbox, stick it to your car until next year. If you're from a climate like us, well, although it is 59 degrees today, I just ran a load of stuff to town to ship out, merchandise. We got ball caps. Make sure to get your ball cap because we're gonna do a Cinco de Drinko competition. Not a drinking competition, but whoever's got the most well-worn hat, Mortske cap. It's gotta be a Mortske cap, so you gotta buy your cap. Hurry up and get them now and get yours well seasoned for the competition coming up the 5th of May. That's when it's gonna be due. Hopefully Mount Mortske's melted by then. Hopefully Mount Mortske doesn't even happen this year. No snow would be great. Right, Duffers? Yeah. All right, let's set up a tailpipe cam and give her some hot sauce, see what happens. Oh yeah, see what happens with a whole bunch of vacuum leaks. We're just gonna get that wing nut out of the way so we can fill our float bowl, maybe. I'm sure this carburetor is in top-notch condition inside. We don't have a fuel pump on this thing, mechanical or otherwise, so we don't have to worry about pumping a bunch of bad gas. These SEMA fuel lines are great for this. All right, let's see what happens. Hook up our coil. Hopefully we still got the sparkage. All right, here we go. Slingshot, engage. Well, our coil wire came off the coil, so does that make it a coil wire still? Oh, there we go. Now we're gonna have spark. All right, let's check for spark. I almost guarantee it's got it. Yep. What's the issue? Usually you don't want your coil just floating around like this. Should we advance it some more? Vacuum advance is hitting on the block, so I don't think it'll turn anymore. It probably needs more gas. Not even a pop. Be strong, Oldsmobile starter, be strong. Timing. All these vacuum leaks certainly can be helping the situation. We got a PCV over here, we got a brake booster over here, we got 1, 2, oh, this one's plugged. I'm sure we got one for the vacuum advance, so let's plug all those off and see what we can do. Maybe try to get it spinning a little faster. The old backfire through the intake might be a hung up intake valve. All the valves seem like they're working over here, or the rockers anyway. But then again, it could be our timing as well. Also, I never have good luck getting these things running just off hot sauce drizzling down the carburetor. For some reason, seems like I always gotta have fuel pressure hooked up to the fuel pump, so that might be it too. Okay, since we can see the rocker arms, let's double check, make sure we got it at top dead center of number 1. So this one's gonna be our exhaust, this is gonna be our intake. So we wanna see our intake open, and then watch for top dead center down there. And we assume that the mark on the harmonic balancer is correct, because that's all we got. There's our exhaust opening. Top dead center of the exhaust stroke. Intake just closed. There we go. We'll even clean up our mark just to be sure where zero's at. Oh my goodness, this thing is grimy. These guys didn't even do a good job of a Craigslist rebuild. I'm gonna have to use the Mortske screwdriver to get that stuff off there. I don't even see any marks. I see a rectangle and a circle. Oldsmobile guys don't even know letters. You can't have a B and a A. After and before, we just give you guys. All right, we're just gonna go for the middle one and assume that's top dead center. There we go. Now we gotta see where our rotor is pointing. Right about there's the middle. Okay, so we're right in between 2 and 1. Okay, now we're gonna rotate everything over 1 notch. All right, so what I did there is the rotor wasn't quite reaching number 1 and I couldn't turn the distributor far enough. So I got the distributor to turn the other way, and then we just rotated all the plug wires over. And I'm an idiot, and the firing order is backwards on this, or the rotor goes counterclockwise. Glad I just checked that.
Rotor was spinning clockwise.
All right, now we get to fix this all up. 1 is gonna still remain there, but instead of going clockwise, we're going counterclockwise. That's definitely going to improve things. That might explain the backfire through the carburetor as well. Just goes to show I am not an Oldsmobile expert. I'm not an expert at anything. Let's be honest here. All right, let's give her a whirl now. It can't be worse, right? Be strong, little old starter. I don't want to choke. Close. Guessing we still got spark, but let's check. Glad we checked, because we no longer have spark. I wonder what caused that. There's power in there, that's for sure. All right, back to sparking again. Guessing it's flooded now. Seems like we didn't have any fire in there, so let's go wide open, no choke. Slingshot, engage. And I didn't say that before.
Slingshot engaged.
Come on, baby. So close. So close. Just turning that way. Yeah, I want to advance that timing, but that distributor won't turn any further. There. Oh, she's close. So close. Okay, it'll go. If we get fuel hooked up to this thing, it's definitely gonna go. She's popping off. Would you agree, supervisor? No? How's that tailpipe looking? Okay. Little charred mouse house coming out of there. You'll have that on your bigger jobs, right, Duff? Go ahead and inspect it just to make sure it's not staged. Oh my. Oh my. Got some distance on this side. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get the clickety-clack and the boat tank. We'll get all that hooked up and we'll be right back. Just kidding. We got minions that come in behind the scenes and do all that. I'm gonna go sit in the break room and have a sandwich. Got our nurse tank sitting up here on our cracked windshield and our hood's holding that in place. If we do get it running and driving, we're gonna have to figure out a solution there, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Got an electric pump hooked up here going into the carburetor. Had to go find a chunk of fuel tubing because, you know, those guys twisted that one off flush with the carburetor. Of course, the float was sticking when I tested it out, so we got fuel all over the intake. So matching the gas tank, boom, boom.
Matching the gas tank, boom, boom.
Here goes nothing. Try to advance it a little bit more. It's not kicking back, so see what happens. Seems like it likes it, still not kicking back, so a little bit more. Yeah, now she's turning hard. Maybe the battery's going dead too, who knows? See if it turns over a little faster with the booster pack helping old Timo out over here in the battery sponsor situation. Need more gas? Do we need less gas? Is our hot sauce bottle empty? Sure is. I'm not sure if that thing's even. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, let's grab a different carburetor. This thing's just full of them dirt dauber things that Puddin's always talking about. Yeah, there's a giant chunk of mud, crud, clay right there. So I'm sure the rest of that carburetor is like that. So let's throw a known good one or something that's better than that. That thing's terrible. You want to go grab one from the stash for me, pal? That'd be great. Man, you got it rough this week. Went and dug through my stash. Dual jet, 2-jet, Rochesters, whatever you want to call them, 2 GCs. Basically, there's 2 kinds, a small base and a large base. And I believe the large base has got the front inlet and the small base has the side inlet. Those are basically the main 2 variations. There's different variations for big block, small block, air-conditioned cars, manual choke, automatic choke, electric choke, you name it. But they all pretty much interchange. Well, I shouldn't say that. Between front inlet and side inlet, as far as I know. Definitely not an expert, but anyway, this one's off of 283, 327. It's got the front inlet here, and it doesn't have the fuel filter housing that is long as the one that was on here. The throttle linkage is a little bit same. It's got a different choke setup, but anyway, this is a known good carburetor that I have for instances such as this. So let's fire up our fuel pump, see if this thing works still. I like the earlier ones with the side inlet. They work great for tri-powers. The ones with these front inlets, obviously it's going to hit the carburetor in front of it, but they do make adapters to shoot it outside, and these things work great on small blocks. 350s, 400s, 283s, 327s. These things will make as much power as you need to, unless you're one of those guys that has to have headers and flexi hoses and red plug wires and all that good stuff. These things are great carburetors, simple, easy to work on, cheap kits, cheap to find, all that good stuff. So 2 jets, 2 GCs, great carburetors in my book. All right, let's do this. I can hear it filling up. It's not spewing everywhere, so that's a plus. Accelerator pump seems to be working still. Slingshot, engage. Coil wire came off. That's no bueno. There we go. Longer than it's run so far. All right. I'm guessing we still got spark, but yep. Just a double check here. Man, it almost went, and then what happened? Let's grab a different battery. Calling in Lizard Larry for the backup. We ain't heard from Larry for a while, so he's gonna take care of us today, hopefully. Let's cranking RPMs up. Come on, baby. Oh, so close. Dagnabbit. Just go already. Whoa! That might have been my eyebrows. Why did it die right away? We're almost there, boys. Oh, my good known carburetor is just drizzling gas in there. That's not good. Maybe we'll just let her sit. I'm guessing we got her pretty loaded up. All right, let's give her a whirl again. Something's not happy. I wonder if we got an intake valve hanging open or what? Sounds awesome for about 1/8 of a second. Well, now what happened? This carburetor isn't nearly as good as I remember it being. Well, back to the drawing boards. I'm sure you folks are sick of watching me crank this starter to death. But it does sound good when it runs. Sounds real good when it doesn't run too, so there's all that. Ooh, I never even noticed that silicone on the thermostat housing. That is a good Craigslist rebuild. Paint right over all of the oil pressure and vacuum sensors, and everything. Just paint it all encompassing. Oil breather cap. They didn't get the water pump. They must have swapped that out. Hey, our pulley's bolted on and they line up, so that's a win. Snapping off a bolt in the harmonic balancer. My bad, not a win. I grabbed a different carburetor. This was the one that I used to use on my derby cars. Do you want to check out that carburetor? This is why we can't have nice things, because you don't ever go get your nails done because you're a big baby and you cry when they clip them. If this was a numbers matching W30442, I'd be a little disappointed. But you're so cute, such a cute puppy. And it's just a crappy old 71 Vista Cruiser that won't run. Do you want to tell them about my demolition derby car days and the carburetor we were using? Not really? You want to get in there and test it out? You got a good feeling about this one? Anyway, like I was saying, this 2GC is one I used to use on my old derby cars. She's a gem. The throttle stop is a 3/8 bolt up here. And that was the one I thought we were using. It's knowing good. So I'm gonna give Duff some pets here. And then we're gonna see if this one works any better. Ooh, the good bumper. Oh, the big baby. Let's hook up the fuel pump and see if we get a sticky float situation. I got my carburetor adjuster just in case. Accelerator pump action. Oh yeah. That other one was just kind of trickling fuel in there. So yeah, that was no good. There should be a nice like bracket here that a bolt goes through to hold a air cleaner. And Pookie sucks at driving and building derby cars. So he had somebody, I don't know, he drove under somebody. Anyway, he ripped my air cleaner. I borrowed him my engine with my carburetor on it. And somehow he managed to tear this part. So I can't put an air cleaner on this thing unless I get one of those little chrome cheesy things. So I forever hold that against Pookie. That was at least 5 years ago. And he could never find a top piece, the same one for this carburetor, because there's a million different 2 jets, 2 GCs, dual jets. But anyway, this is a manual choke version. They're kind of, I'm going to say hard to come by, but there's actually quite a few out there. Anyway, this seems like it's working good. Hopefully this is our resolution. I was wondering if there was a vacuum leak. Actually, Chin pointed it out, and I said, no, I got everything plugged. But then I thought about the base gasket, and I tried to find a base gasket, and I don't have the right one, so we're going to have to get one of those ordered to have on the shelf. I usually like to keep them because they're cheap, easy to store, and can ruin your day if you don't have one. All right, let's set up the tailpipe cam, and this thing's just going to live flawlessly. Guaranteed. Probably not. Old DB came in the middle of the night, swept the floor for us. Seems how Duff doesn't sweep the floor. So hopefully we get a new pile of stuff. Duff's gonna keep an eye on the tailpipe. Perfect vantage point. Ooh, we got the junk emptied out of the bed of the 36 too. It still overheats and sprays water all over our nice new windshield though. So that sucks, especially when it's only 50 degrees out. But we'll take it. Boys and girls, and dogs, and cats, and parakeets, and raccoons, and whatever kind of, comment down below the strange pets that you have or had, or maybe know. Has anybody had a penguin? I think a penguin would be pretty cool, Duff, especially in the winter months. But anyway, I'm sure Chin cut out a bunch. We've cranked and messed around and had this thing so close, and we had to cut that all out of there because nobody wants to see hours and hours and hours of this. I'm pretty much to the point where we either got to try some new points or different distributor. Hopefully this carburetor just fixes it, because I don't know what's going on, unless we got a major vacuum leak. But looking at the gasket, seems in pretty good shape. There's no way that air should be coming around it. So we're gonna give this thing over. You are just clawing the snot out of the paint of this thing. If you want to own this car, price and availability in the description. It's right below the video. And if you want to buy the thing at that price, hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com, because we're not keeping this thing. The scratches in the left front fender were there. They look like claws. They're not Duff's claw marks. They were there before we got this thing. Hope this isn't becoming a habit of you climbing on fenders. All right, let's hook up our coil. It was definitely the carburetor, and it's definitely got a lot of blow-by. Should have tried a carburetor so long ago. Like, how does it want to go and then not go? We don't have spark anymore. Why not? Why? We may have to put some points in it. Yep, just lost spark. What the French? Oldsmobile. Seems like that's what it, like we're revving it up and then it just dies out. So it might be a combination of the points. We're so close. It seems like it runs really good. It's got a blow by, so maybe it'll come out of that, but let's pull the distributor cap off and I'm gonna put some points in this thing. You know me, I hate putting points in because you almost never need them, but in this instance, I think because it sat so long without a cap or a rotor on it, and then plus it's those unit style points, which I don't know why I hate them. I know why I hate most things. And I don't really hate unit points, just everybody else does, so I'm jumping on that bandwagon. Comment down below with strange pets and also why people hate unit points. And if you're not sure what unit points are unitized, I believe it's short for unitized points. It's where the points come with the condenser installed. Seems like a great idea to me, but the old timers don't like them. Maybe we'll have to ask Mojo. He's not so happy. He's ripping the carpet back out of the Grand Prix because we put it all in there and then we went to put the console in, but there's like a sub console and we took that out first, and you actually have to have that in there and put the carpet on the top of it. Great. Are we ready to pull? Oh, you already got it slid out and slid back in again. Hey, that looks way better. I should have said something. You could see the way it was molded for that shifter. That's my fault. You know what unit points are? Unitized? Is that what they call them? Unit points where they come with a condenser?
Yep.
Do you like them?
Not really.
Nobody likes them. Why not?
Because they're miserable.
Because they're miserable. I thought they'd be easier because it's all in one. It's like Easy Mac. You don't know what Easy Mac is, do you? Linda makes you your macaroni and cheese so you don't have to make your own.
But I find a lot of them, they say they're pre-adjusted at the factory.
Oh, yeah?
And they're not.
Okay.
And then I find a lot of them that the points don't line up with.
Oh, they're just poor manufacturing.
Well, either they got bent or whatever.
Oh.
You know, but they're not my ideal of nice point. You know, I'm used to them old 45 points where, you know, they put them together and they match.
Yeah. All right, you talk me into it. Well, everybody says they don't like unitized points, but nobody ever says why. And you don't have a good answer then because it ain't what you're used to.
Well, they retrofit these uniset points to put in there.
Yep.
Then everybody takes out that little screw and holder for the condenser.
So you can never put them back to the other style.
So you can never find the screw, and you can never find the bracket to go hold a condenser to go back to the old.
So I'm going to have to find all that stuff to convert this car. Yeah. Dang it. I bet we got some distributors laying around.
Okay.
Okay. And there you have it. You heard it from the legend himself, Mojo, why we don't run unitized points. We're going to have to get you some new jeans for Christmas. You're going to have to upgrade from socks this year. Oh, they already been patched a couple times. Yeah, we're not looking at the backside, you goofball. We're getting back to work on Duff. I guess we're gonna find a condenser bracket and a screw and some points and a condenser. What do we got in the old far from puking cabinet? Is Outlaw Tattoo still on Benson Road in Sioux Falls? The previous owner of this cabinet did some dirty deeds in the parking lot there. I'm guessing his name was Daniel or Daryl. What do we got here? I think they're a DR 2270. There we go. 2270. And condenser is, I can't think of the number off the top of my head. Where do we got them? Maybe we don't have a GM condenser. So many condensers. 204, that's what we want. The D204. We got a bunch of them. Oh, good old GM ones. We're not going to put those in there. We're going to put the WVEs. What are these guys? Country of origin. Silly air compressor. Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Made in Taiwan. Very good. I don't have a condenser bracket or screw in here, however, so we're going to have to find that out of a parts distributor. Good thing we got that small block one that we stole the cap and rotor off of. Okay, she's back together. We got spark, gapped her to 19 thou. Just kidding, we totally wung it. We gapped it to 19 thou and it didn't work, so re-gapped it. Oh, check this handy tool out. Not sure who makes it. I'm sure there's a bunch of companies that make them, but anyway, I think it's 1/8 inch. Anyway, it's got this neat little Allen wrench on it, and she's a screwdriver, and she's flexible. Flexi screwdriver is way better than flexi hoses. And of course, here's the unit points that we took out. You can see usually the condenser is separate, but they're built right into these guys. And the distributor that I was gonna steal parts off of had unit points in it already. So went back to the drawing board. Because of course they didn't put the screw back in place for where the condenser would go. The new condenser came with a bracket, didn't it, Duff? So we should be good to go. Let's give her a whirl. You wanted to have the honors? Timing's gonna be way off because I turned the distributor to get it where I could do it. Easy access. All right, hook up our ignition. Oh, we better hook our fuel pump back up. We had bypassed that while we were playing at the points. Got a lot going on under here. All right. This is the one. All right, our timing's way off. Yeah, duh. Let's put it back to where it was-ish. Told you it was off. New record. Oh my gosh. Should have put points in a long time ago. The old Mortske flick wasn't enough this time. Timing might be a little off. Runs pretty good. We're getting a little bit of oil up here to the rockers. We're not getting any oil coming to the transmission lines. So we don't want to be running that pump dry for too long, so we're going to need some transmission fluid. We're going to need a drive shaft. We're going to need a lot of things, but it sounds good. Top end ain't clattering. Rockers must have, or the lifters must have pumped up because they're not clattering. I don't hear any rod knocks. Got to play with the timing a little bit. I don't know if we're going to get to drive this thing though, because we got to do shift linkage. We got to do throttle linkage. We got to do a drive shaft. We got no master cylinder to do brakes. We need a radiator. We need a belt. We need coolant. We need hoses. We need a transmission that works, that has fluid in it. Yeah. We do have a drive shaft. So let's put that in there. See if it fits. And we'll go from there. But it runs. So I'll crack a sandwich to that, even if it is 10 a.m. Just kidding. No sandwiches at 10 a.m. on a weekday. Oh boy, Duff. Look at the mouse house that came out of the passenger tailpipe. You forgot to tell me about this. It's a good one. DB will have to clean that up too. Didn't get quite as much to come out the driver's side this time. I think we must have cleared that out before. Must have been hitting better over here. Haven't even tried to open the door yet. Opens. Oh, are you kidding me? There's brackets back there, but I don't see any pulleys. I would guess that one's for the alternator. That one's probably for air conditioning. Great. Guessing it's for this car because it's got the big old turbo 400 yoke on it. Ooh. It's greasy inside, just the way I like them. We're missing caps on the U-joint, so I guess we'll have to finger that out as well. Ooh. Oh, they got some mechanics wire tying the rag around it. Yeah. That's a new, oh, it's even a legit red shop rag. What a score. I guess not so much keeping stuff in. Did a good job of keeping stuff out. Oh. Moment of truth. Never stick your shaft in dry. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Well, I think it's close enough to the right length where we can put a universal joint in it, but we're gonna need a pair of U-bolt straps. We're gonna have to dig through our stash. 2 weeks in a row we had to do that. So we'll figure that out. See if we can have a universal joint. Guessing like a 369, maybe a 331. I'll let you know. Okay, our 534G is installed. That is a beefy U-joint for all the torques. Fun fact, it's the same universal joint used on the 350 version of this car and the 455. So I guess I'm not surprised. GM things, all interchangeable. So we're gonna shift this thing into park so that when we do start it, it doesn't take off on us. And we'll start dumping some fluid in. Hopefully that seal on the output shaft is in good enough shape to hold our fluid in there. Didn't look like it was in that good a shape. Are we gonna put a new one in? No. This right here will tell you just how long this car's been sitting. There's the shift shaft. And that's how much crud is caked onto it. So we're missing the linkage, or whatever, that U adapter thinger that goes on there, and then the linkage comes down, and then there's a linkage that goes across, and there should be an adapter plate that bolts right here that holds that piece. Yeah, we're missing a lot of things. So I guess we just cut a hole through the floor and put a locking pliers on this and just reach to the floor and shift, derby car style. Let's find park for the time being, because it's definitely not in park right now. There's a couple of flat spots on there. We're going to clamp onto them with our locking pliers. See, there's that big skip between gears right there. That's park. Otherwise, there's reverse, neutral, drive, 2, 1. So that should be park. Yep. What are you doing in my toolbox?
I'm gonna steal your heat gun.
You're gonna steal my heat gun?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's called borrowing.
Oh, I'll borrow it.
All right. Bring her back when you're done. Here's the beauty of GM interchangeability. I grabbed a radiator out of, I believe it's a 78 Chevy C10. It had that 5.7 diesel in it that we kind of, sort of got running. You better open the doors. Well, anyway, that radiator says it's out of a Chevy Suburban. It's now in a 71 Vista Cruiser. Fits right in there, dropped right in the rubber mounts. Trenicular lines hooked right up. So now I'm gonna dump about a gallon of ATF, see where we're at from there. We'll lift it up in the air, cycle the shifter a few times, get that pump turning, and see if we got a transmission. The bad part about this radiator is it came from in front of a 5.7 diesel, which is a 350 Oldsmobile. We sold that engine to a viewer about 2 weeks ago. He's gonna use it as a core, or he wanted the injection pump, or who knows. Anyway, that thing had all the brackets on it that we needed for this. Well, I don't know if they were all there, but we're just gonna assume that they were all there and shot ourselves in the foot once again. And that 4-door cutlass that we had would have had all our shift linkage that we needed here. So yeah, we're killing it. Just keep everything, don't sell it. Let's fire this thing up, cycle the pump a little bit, check, see where it's at. Hopefully it holds fluid. There's no puddles on the floor, no guarantees. That's a new rattle. I feel like it's on the frame, not in the engine. Okay, we're on the stick. Looks like we got a quarter or two to go. Probably getting a little warm. We should probably shut her down, but we're gonna check it quick. Oh yeah, overfull, just the way we like it. This tailpipe ain't smoking much, but this one is. All right, we're gonna let the shop clear out. Maybe go have a sandwich. Come back after a bit. Man, she's a haze. And then we'll have to put it in gear and see if the transmission shifts, I guess. And if that works, then we just gotta put coolant hoses on it. Hope it holds coolant and shift linkage, and throttle pedal. Let's just hope the transmission doesn't work, and then we can just walk away from this thing. Then we just wasted 6 quarts of ATF. Who wants to be an ATF sponsor? Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. Just bring us like a 200-gallon tote of it, or a pallet, or whatever. Don't worry about running it without water for a couple minutes. It's fine. Use our locking pliers, got our transmission shifted into the low range of the forward gears. We're gonna fire this thing up, see if those rear wheels spin. Here we go. I do have the tires slightly off the ground, so it's not gonna lurch forward and drive up the tailpipe of the old Blueser. Oh, she's good and cooled down. Ready for its first burnout action. You know, the tires ain't touching the ground. Slingshot engage.
Slingshot engaged.
Driving. I would say that's a win. I'm not exactly sure how the old GM limited slip works. That side's spinning because it's higher off the ground because, I don't know, the way we got the lift, or the car's twisted, or the tire's taller, or whatever. This side's only spinning when you really get a load on it, so maybe the limited slip needs a limited overhaul. The next problem is we don't have any way to keep coolant in this thing, so I guess we'll see if we can find some radiator hoses and plug off some heater hoses and get some coolant in this thing, because if we're going to run it long enough to a burnout, we're probably going to want some coolant in it. Otherwise, we're going to absolutely annihilate this 455. So I'm going to go dig through my stash, see what I can find. Hey, what's this guy? 71-200 Daco? That is a strange, I don't remember what I ordered that for. But I bet we can make it work. We gotta get the stash anyway. We'll see what we can find. Flexi hoses? This is a good spot to use flexi hoses. I would concur. Look at what we did, Duff. No flexi hoses required. It ain't pretty. We even got a fan on it. The fan on the passenger seat is the wrong bolt pattern. I don't know where that came from. We rolled a 15-340 belt on there. 15-345 would have probably been ideal, but of course we didn't have one. We had to do a little splicing over here with the heater hose, because there's a heater hose here and here on the engine, but this radiator has one up here, so I just happened to have a T laying around, so we tied them all together. And yeah, let's grab some coolant. Let's tighten that clamp and see if she holds water. We're not putting coolant in it because we're not rich, and we'll just drain it. Remind me to drain the water out of this thing before we leave it outside, because she's getting below freezing in the evenings here, and it won't be long, and it'll be below freezing all day long, all month long, all week long, until spring. Yay, Podunk, North Dakota. All right, coolant time, tap water time. I'm sure that was supposed to be there. Do you believe we don't have any empty jugs around here? A little windshield washer fluid won't hurt anything. Well, it appears we've sprung a leak. Just my premonitionisms, but I'm gonna say that that's a freeze plug, frost plug, core plug, whatever you call it. This thing had that, what do you call them, those expansion style replacement ones. Or it's the one between the engine and the transmission. That would be even worse. We'll take a look. That was only water, $13 a gallon coolant. Oh, yeah. It was the only one that wasn't that style of a plug. And it just happens to be in a very accessible spot. So, let's see what we can do. My grandpa always used to just push these things in, and he would put block heaters in. But we'll see if we can't snag it out of there. I like to just put a locking pliers on it, grab it, and just pop her right out. Come to Papa. There we go. Get a good bite on it, and then just roll it back. Come on. Walmart. Holding back prices here.
Roll back, roll back.
There you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Well, this one had a hole rusted in it anyway. So, yeah, I'm guessing that's where all the other ones went, was somebody down south was running pure water in this thing and it wasn't freezing, but it rotted out the frost plugs. Go see if I can find one in my stash. There's a lot of ways to replace freeze plugs, and like I said, Grandpa would just knock them in there, leave them. Some people run a screw in them and use a slide hammer or pry it out or whatever. So what I like to do, grab some emery cloth, sandpaper, whatever, stick your finger out the hole, get her cleaned up real good, and then just pound the new one in. Other people put RTV on it, or shellac, or red high temp hideousness. That's what DD Speed Shop would use. If you want to check out a real hack, go check out DD Speed Shop. He just did a video here a couple days ago on a Facebook Marketplace free engine or something like that. He pulled the stock 2-barrel intake off of 283 and then got this gray adhesive stuff. And I mean, he didn't just do the China walls, the end walls. He did it all across the middle. And then he didn't like how it was going, so he just schmooed it everywhere, as he says, schmoo. What in the heck? This is junk. Ugh, honestly, it's like embarrassing. And then he didn't like that, so then he cleaned that up, and then he got the red high temp hideous. Oh man, just complete hack, that guy. Right Stuff by Permatex. Best stuff there is. That's what you use. And you just put it on the China walls and a little dab in the corner of the gaskets. That's all you need. So hey, at least we're not as big of hacks as Discount Disappointment Speed Shop up there in Kanukistan. He would probably be getting another one of those expansion style frost plugs. I'm doing this right now. Well, damn. I'm sure a bunch of you guys are gonna go run crying to him on Instagram. Mortske's being mean to you. I unsubscribe. Guys, Dan is the king of hacks. Dan's my friend, unfortunately. But I mean, that guy is proud of his hackery. We just do it just for fun once in a while, but that guy does it. I mean, that's his passion. This is an 1.5-inch expansion style plug. It's a Dorman P77C. It's got the shallow lip on it. And these ones have the deeper lip, and I've got them, but I got more of these. And like, let's be honest, let's use the cheap one because I'm a hack, right? And then I like to get a socket that fits in there. In this case, it's a Chrome Craftsman 12-point half-inch drive, 1 inch. And then you just fit that in there and you just give her a old tap, tap, taparoo.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo.
And we'll see how that goes from there. Not a lot of real estate to swing. This tranny line is just right in the wrong spot. I usually like to use an extension, but in this case, we ain't got room for cheese and rice. To be honest, it only has to hold long enough to do a burnout. Hit it with your purse. Good enough for the girls we go with. Get that decal at mortske.com. Hopefully now we can continue filling with the water and it doesn't make the Nile River through the floor of my shop. Well, that took some work, huh, Duff? Mojo helped us get it outside here. He said there's something wrong with that wheel. The good news is the manifold kept the A-arm from going any further, and it didn't pinch our plug wire, so. And it'll keep it from rolling so we can do a better burnout. Mojo's shutting her down for the night. He says he's had enough fun for the day.
Yep.
Did you steal one of my cookies too?
No, these are mine.
Oh, those are your cookies. All right. Well, see you tomorrow.
All right.
He probably just wants to get his 6.2 out of the way so we don't shoot smoke all over it. I really hope this thing does a burnout. I really hope that wheel with the 3 lug nuts beside each other holds on. This is the one that's going to spin for sure though. Mojo living his best life with the old 6 deuce. So here's the plan. Since we got no wiring and no shifter and no steering, no brakes, and a dog under my feet, the old skid steer is going to be our brake today. Let's do this. Come on, 455. Treat me right. It was a 455 rocket. Oh, it'll idle in gear. Sweet. You gonna stay and watch from a distance? Good idea. Probably not one of my brighter ideas. Don't die. Don't die. It died. Turn the idle up. You know it's not going anywhere with that wheel, right? Don't die. Don't die. Oh, should have made Mojo start it before he left. Brighter ideas. He's real fueling. Little timing? Come on, you hog. Nothing but pure black smoke coming out that tailpipe. We're gonna need an overhaul. And I'm guessing the fire department's gonna be on their way. That was a pretty good one. These little tuning on the old ignition, timing, and such. Don't worry about the alignment, it's fine. One wheel peel, unfortunately. All right, the sun is setting. We gotta get this footage to Chin so we can get it edited, so you folks can watch it Monday morning. So there you have it. We took a 1971 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser that'd probably been sitting on the road or off the road for, I'm guessing, at least 20, probably 30 years, judging by how crusty everything was underneath there. It needs a lot of stuff. It needs some front end work. It needs brakes. It needs shift linkage. It needs a tune-up. It needs a radiator. It needs everything. It, most importantly, Duff says it needs a new owner because we can't take it for drives. So what do we tell them, Duff? If you want to own this thing, hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. Price and availability in the description, right below the video down here. It was a pretty cool car. I was wishing we could keep it, but we got too many other projects in the yard, and we got one wagon of our own that we never drive. So thank you very much for watching. Check out other videos. Check out the merch, mortske.com. We got ball caps. We got the dirty cap competition coming up in about 6 months. So get yours now. Get her broke in before then so you can win the grab pack that we're giving away. We got Cowboy Cadillac shirts. We got a couple of Low Life shirts left. We got the Do shirts. We got Low Life banners. We got magnetic can koozies. We got magnetic screwdrivers. We got decals. We got Bic pens. You name it, we got it. But what we don't got is a Vista Cruiser that goes for ride. But we got a Vista Cruiser that does burnouts. So remember, it doesn't matter how you get it done, so long as you're having fun. Burnouts are always fun. Oh, she's still smoldering. And just so you can't call me as big of a hack as DD Speed Shop, we put a new bolt on the upper control arm. That will roll on a trailer and off a trailer when you come buy this. Look at, even put a locking nut on it. Took about 5 minutes. Should have done that a long time ago. Duff, I forgot to tell him about the tailgate. So this tailgate, this isn't a fuel filler door. The tailgate, I don't know what it does. It swings sideways and it folds down. It goes both ways, like that girl in college.